So just fielding more questions here for USMLE. Student asks through DM, if I only have time to do one QBank, should I do UWorld or Amboss? I've heard both have pros and cons. Okay, so I will address this question before we get started. Please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Help grow this channel. Share with one of your friends who's prepping for USMLE. Help bring awareness to this channel. Hit the like button. Hit the bell if you want notifications. Find me on Instagram at Mehlman_medical, MEHLMAN_medical. The link is down below. And find us on Telegram. Recently created Telegram group. Link is down below. Now, let me address the question, which is if you only have time to do one QBank, would it be UWorld or Amboss? At this point in time, the answer is still unequivocally UWorld. Okay, so it's fine to be mindful of other resources and potential pros and cons, okay, of course. But UWorld is still the gold standard QBank if you have to choose one. It would be rather audacious to sit the USMLE and having focused some of your time on QBank material, but you didn't touch UWorld. That makes no fucking sense, okay? So at the point of this clip, July 2021, you still are going to choose UWorld over Amboss. UWorld and Amboss both have their drawbacks, okay? I mean, UWorld has become superfluous for sure. When I sat the step one back in the end of 2012, it only had about 2150 questions at the time. It was very concise, very clean QBank, okay? Now it's up around 3,800. A lot of it is a waste of fucking time, okay? And it's lost that concise element that made it very potent and effective. However, and there's so much I can discuss on that front. However, Amboss, although not quite as long as UWorld, is overly nitpicky. It's essentially the modern version of Kaplan. Kaplan is obsolete for USMLE, but it used to have a reputation about a decade ago of being heavily minutia focused and off the mark. And that's sort of what Amboss is. Like, you'll get a lot of answer choices that are overly nitpicky and gotcha style questions. This is not just my subjectivity personally, but also feedback I've received from students where students will say that Amboss focuses on details that on the exam they felt were a big waste of fucking time. Okay, that's literally the feedback I've received. Amboss also has this library of information where on the surface it looks very comprehensive and strong, but you have to ask yourself what your goal is. What's the goal? Are you looking to just read endless information that feels good because you're learning? Or are you trying to just get your score up on the USMLE in the least amount of time possible, okay? You have the rest of your career to learn things in detail and become a good doctor. But in terms of sitting your USMLE and you only have so much time to prep, we need you focusing on consolidated info. And unfortunately, the Amboss library, excessive, okay? So we have an excessive amount of information in Amboss explanations and library, and the answers are nitpicky, versus UWorld, which just has too many questions, quite frankly, but the explanations are still overall the gold standard. So pros and cons to both, but I'd say it's still an easy decision for UWorld over Amboss. And I've talked about this in some other clips. Okay, I post these at random, but it should just be quickly noted that the utility of Amboss can serve as a bridge before UWorld, okay, if you are at least 6 to 12 months out. So let's say you're 9 months out and it's still kind of too early to do UWorld in some respects. Depends on the student, okay, it's not cookie cutter. Some people we would start on UWorld far out. I'm just giving a general point right now that if you're very far out from your exam, e.g. 9 to 12 months out, we could be having you do other QBanks first, like USMLE RX QMax, which is, I would say, the second best QBank. And then you could use Amboss as a bridge if we have time, only do some of Amboss maybe. And then we start you on UWorld about between 6 and 2 months out. You block out a nice amount of time for UWorld, okay, before going into the NBME exams ultimately. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to try to keep this clip concise, okay? So if you like my stuff, subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate your time. That's it.